Smokepit Fairytales by Trip Ainsworth. Chapter 24. I just died in your arms, in the still of the night. We pulled into Penelope's apartment's parking lot. I dialed her up and told her we were downstairs. We all hopped out of the Pontiac and lit up by the entrance. Penelope came out and almost passed us. She had to look twice to notice the three of us standing there. She was wearing jeans and a black sweater with a collar like on a button-down. She had on Converse and was still as tall as I was.
Almost didn't see you there.
I pulled her in with my arm and kissed her on the cheek. We're super ninja today.
I guess so.
Penelope sniffed my clothes.
Have you started drinking without me?
Yeah, but not much.
What are we getting into tonight?
Ginny and Kristy are going to meet us up north at a karaoke bar in Vista.
Karaoke, huh? I don't think I've done that yet.
Oh, then it'll be a good time.
I don't know, I might be too shy.
Well, you don't do it sober.
Okay.
Penelope looked around the parking lot.
Who drove down? You didn't all fit in the Jeep.
I did.
In what?
Don't worry about it. Penelope gave me a confused look. I smacked her ass and smiled at her. We walked over to the GTO and I opened the passenger side door for her. Penelope's eyes widened.
No fucking way!
Yeah, fucking way. I gestured my hand at the seat for her. She sat down and ran her hand across the dashboard.
I love the interior. When did you get her?
This week.
What prompted it?
Because I could. Put your feet in, babe.
Oh, right.
Penelope said as if she wasn't paying attention to me. I closed the door. Doc and Eclair crammed into the back seat from the driver's side. Penelope put on her seatbelt.
I like the wood in the dash. I don't believe I've seen that in a car yet.
I turned the key and the engine howled. Penelope smiled over at me. I put her in gear and we raced up I-5. We stopped Whitesnake in favor of Molly Hatchet. We dropped Doc and Eclair off at the barracks. They were going to go pick up their girlfriends and meet us at the bar later on. My green woman and I made our way to Vista.
Why didn't you tell me you got a new car?
Penelope was still smiling. I wanted to surprise you.
It's pretty awesome.
Yeah, it is.
Is it newer? I don't recognize Pontiac.
Well, Pontiac went out of business a few years ago, but this car's from the 60s.
Really? It looks brand new.
The guy I got it from did a lot of work on it. Like the interior's been redone, the engine's newer, and that kind of stuff.
Well, it doesn't sound like there's a motor as much as it does a demon under the hood.
I smiled at her. Yeah, that's cool, huh? Not like putting around in the Jeep.
How is the Jeep? You didn't get rid of it, did you?
Oh no, that thing's gonna be a lawn ornament one day. We snagged dinner at a small sushi place besides the theater in Vista and made our way to Smitty's. It was a small hole-in-the-wall dive bar. It wasn't very big, but there was a stage, karaoke, and the drinks weren't bad. We got cocktails and waited for the others to show up. After a couple of drinks, we stepped outside to smoke a cigarette and watch the sunset over the mountains. Doc and Kristy rolled up as Penelope and I were about to go back inside.
Heyo!
Kristy waved.
Hey!
We waved back. We went back in and ordered a couple of shots and beer. Ginny and Eclair showed up in the middle of one of the first karaoke performances. An extremely inebriated, skinny white kid bounced around the stage to Baby Got Back. The kid was shouting at the top of his lungs into the microphone. It was awful. Eclair's first words at the bar were,
"No amount of alcohol is gonna remedy this guy's voice."
I looked over at Eclair. Yeah, but at least it'll get tolerable. Eclair patted my shoulder.
"I'm gonna go get a drink. You need anything?"
I shook my head no, brandishing my beer. Ginny sat down next to Penelope and they started chatting. They'd been hanging out recently when us guys weren't around for one reason or another, but I don't think they'd seen each other in a couple of weeks.
How's it going, girl?
Kristy asked Ginny while sitting down.
Not too bad, just replanning wedding stuff.
How's that going?
Ginny shrugged.
It's not as much of a pain in the ass as it was the first time. I already know who to call and for what. Most people were okay with just pushing the date back.
It's good that they're not giving you the runaround.
Yeah, so what have you been up to?
Not too much, just work.
About the same with me. Although I went to the ball with Hank a while back.
Oh yeah? How'd you like that? I went with Richard.
I was expecting more class. But you know the prayer that they do at the beginning?
Yeah.
Well, that got me a little curious. I went out and bought a Bible, and I'm about halfway through it.
Really? What do you think about it?
I don't think that most of the stories are about what you're calling God. They seem more like extraterrestrials to me.
Ginny looked at Penelope suspiciously.
Okay.
Well, I mean, think about it. Half the time, God comes down to Earth to talk to people. He's got a full entourage, and he comes in some kind of vehicle, like a chariot or a wheel. Why would the creator of the entire universe need bodyguards and a car?
Kristy took a sip of her drink.
I guess that's a good point.
And that whole bit about the flying cloud of fire leading the Hebrews through the desert that dispersed food, maybe it's just because I'm reading it with an outsider's perspective, but that also seems like advanced technology of some sort. But maybe that's just me. I can't quite figure out why aliens would want to help helpless little earthlings running around the wilderness either.
Yeah, I don't know.
Ginny didn't really seem to care about the subject. Eclair sat down with a couple of white Russians. We drank into the night, watching people make fools of themselves on stage. Some people would mumble into the microphone. Most others would sing off key, making the room miserable. My favorites were the people who were too drunk to sing and just got on the stage and laughed with their friends. During a lull in the performances, Ginny and Penelope went back to chatting, and the other 4 of us went outside for a cigarette. I walked out first and bumped into a woman on accident. Excuse me, Before I could say sorry, I recognized the woman. Reagan?
Hank?
She looked at me as if she'd seen a ghost. Eclair, Doc, and Kristy fell out of the door. Reagan looked around me.
Wilson?
Doc gawked at her in horror. Reagan forced a meek smile.
Hi.
They stood silent. Eclair moved his eyes from them to me and back with a dumbfounded look on his face. He had put a cigarette in his mouth, but hesitated to light it when he realized something was wrong with the situation. Doc and Reagan stared at each other. The cool winter wind blew Reagan's hair. They probably would have stood there until they turned to stone and eroded away if Kristy hadn't broken their gaze. Kristy put her head up between the two and said,
Hi.
Reagan responded robotically.
Hi.
Kristy, knowing something was rotten, tried to mark her territory.
I'm Kristy.
She extended her hand to Reagan to shake. Reagan ignored her.
I don't really know what to say.
How about I'm sorry?
Kristy interjected.
For what?
They ignored her. Eclair eyeballed the situation as if he were a gunslinger in an old Western Mexican standoff, unlit cigarette in his mouth and an itchy lighter finger, awaiting for someone to pull the trigger.
Where'd you go?
Nowhere. I stayed here. You left.
Yeah, but I didn't leave you, and you knew I was coming back.
Doc put his hands in his pockets.
Will one of you explain to me what the hell is going on?
Kristy looked back and forth between the old lovers.
I didn't know that, Wilson. Things were bad here waiting for you, and after what happened with Kennedy, I decided to move on.
Whoa! I shot in. What happened to Kennedy?
She never told me, Hank. But whatever it was, it hurt her, and it hurt her bad.
I frowned wordlessly. Reagan looked at me.
Whatever happened between you two was so terrible that she didn't even pack her things. She just got on a bus to Chicago and started a new life with nothing but the clothes on her back and a carton of cigarettes.
I didn't have words to say. I didn't even know where to look to find them. Kristy's face grew the kind of scared people only get when their lovers leave them alone in the rain with nothing to keep them warm.
So you left me because Hank hurt Kennedy?
There were other reasons.
What, Reagan? What other reasons could there possibly have been?
It was nice seeing you, Wilson. I have to go.
We watched her walk into the night without looking back. Before she was more than 2 blocks away, Kristy showed her anger.
Who the fuck was that?
Somebody that I used to know.
Doc said, watching Reagan disappear.
Well, you obviously still know each other.
Doc looked into Kristy's eyes and very calmly pleaded.
Babe, not now.
Not now. Why the fuck not? Some random skank shows up and you just ignore me for a conversation?
Sorry.
You're sorry? I thought I meant more than that to you.
You do, babe.
Obviously I don't.
Can we not do this right now?
No, we're doing this right now.
I sat down on the curb, pulled out a Lucky, and played with it in my fingers. Eclair was still in a standoff, posed awkwardly, watching Mommy and Daddy fight.
Kristy, I'm not doing this right now. I've got a lot going through my head.
Fuck you, Wilson. That's all I get from you? Not right now, babe. I've got a lot to think about, babe. I am tired of this shit. Drive me home.
What? Drive yourself the fuck home.
Doc came and sat down next to me on the curb.
Asshole.
Kristy stormed back into the bar. Doc looked back to watch the door slam.
You alright, Eclair?
I have no idea what's going on right now, and I'm really uncomfortable.
It's alright, man. Come sit down.
Eclair plopped down next to us and finally lit a cigarette. I guess he felt the pressure in the air. Neither Doc nor I spoke. Eclair either didn't want to ask or was too afraid to know the answer. I didn't smoke, I just rubbed the cigarette between my fingers. There was a demon in my chest, and he was clawing and pushing, and it didn't feel like he was going to let go anytime soon. After about 3 cigarettes worth of time, in which I still didn't smoke, the girls came out of the bar. Kristy stayed by the door. Penelope knelt down and put her hands on my shoulders.
Hank, can we drive Kristy home? She doesn't want to talk to Doc.
I can't drive right now. I tried to hand her my keys, but you can if you want.
I can't drive, Stick.
Penelope put her chin on my neck.
Are you alright, babe?
No, Doc held up his keys.
You can take the Mustang. Just bring it back in one piece.
Penelope took the keys.
Anything special I need to know about your old rust bucket?
Babe,
Yeah?
now's not the time for banter. She squeezed my shoulders.
Do you need anything, Hank?
No, I'll be all right.
Hank, how long have you been playing with that cigarette and not smoking it?
Since we came out. After a few moments, Penelope kissed the back of my neck and walked Kristy to the Mustang.
You two look after Hank. I'll be back soon.
Kristy avoided looking at Doc as the 2 girls rolled out of the parking lot. Ginny sat next to Eclair and wrapped her arm around his.
You guys alright?
I feel really awkward, and I have no idea what's going on.
Has Hank seriously been out here this whole time not smoking?
Yep. I put the Lucky in my mouth.
What happened?
We ran into the girl that left me while we were in Iran.
Oh.
Eclair looked at Ginny.
I kind of figured something like that was up. When I looked at Hank and he didn't light up, I knew something was wrong. They were talking and everyone was ignoring Kristy, and I guess that's what pissed her off.
Ginny tightened her grip around Eclair's arm.
She went on a rant in there.
Doc ashed his smoke.
Yeah, she'll be alright. She gets pissed off every once in a while and runs home.
Okay, well, then what's wrong with you, Hank?
I took a long drag off my cigarette. The girl we ran into out here left Doc because my girlfriend left me.
Okay?
She left because of some shit that happened in Iran.
Damn, what did you do that was so bad that it made other people break up with their boyfriends?
I don't want to talk about it. Ginny looked around the parking lot.
Well, I think I've known you guys long enough to know that you don't have any problems that can't be solved with tobacco and alcohol. What do you say we go back inside and start drinking?
We crept back into the bar and started doing shots of vodka, gin, bourbon, and Jaeger. After the 4 of us got good and liquored up, we started joining the terrible ensemble of drunken carolers. We sang Charlie Daniels and Guns N' Roses. We knew all the words by heart, but I can't imagine that we pulled it off well, even if the alcohol said we did. When we got done, Ginny and Eclair got up and started singing Separate Ways by Journey. As soon as the music started playing, I looked at Doc. Really? Those assholes are gonna play this? Doc shrugged, took a shot of whiskey, and ordered another round. The drunken crowd started singing along with their friends. Not one of them hit a note anywhere near where it was supposed to be.
You know, man, life was fucking easier when all you had to do was fucking stay alive.
Dude! I slapped his shoulder. I've been saying that.
But no, bro, that bitch never even said goodbye. She just started ignoring me.
Yeah, man, but... I shrugged and drank the shot in front of me. Bitches ain't shit but hoes and tricks. Doc gave me a dirty look. I pointed at him and smiled. George Washington said that.
No, Gandhi said that. And that was in a movie, not real life. Quit plagiarizing shit.
I'll plagiarize your face, fucker. I petted Doc's face like a child would pet a small animal. Doc smacked my hand away.
This whole thing's your fault anyway.
How's it my fault?
For telling Kennedy what happened.
I wasn't gonna tell her. You talked me into it. I lit a cigarette and stuck the burning cherry into my forearm. Eclair and Ginny finished their song and rejoined us.
Don't blame me for that shit. Blame the fucking war.
Doc followed suit with the skin burning. The bartender stared at us, not knowing what to do.
Oh my god, are you seriously talking about war again? Are there any of you fucking people that do anything besides drink and bitch about the Marine Corps?
No! I looked over at Ginny. Fuck no! I leaned over the bar. Hey, barkeep, can we get 8 shots of spiced rum? Make it quick and I'll tip you 20. The bartender said he'd do it if we put out the cigarettes.
And we're not bitching about the Marine Corps. We're reminiscing about the best years of our lives and remembering our fallen brothers.
Eclair defended us.
You're not the only one who's lost people, Richard.
Well, I can't help that Kelsey was a soulless whore who fucked every swinging dick that fell in front of her and spread genital awards for charity.
Ginny put her index finger in Eclair's face.
That's fucked up, Richard.
Eclair rolled his eyes at her.
You're a fucking dick.
Eclair raised his hands and mocked being scared.
Ooh.
He backed off towards the restroom. The bartender brought us our shots, and I kept my promise about the tip. Ginny grabbed a shot and downed it before the barkeep was done putting them all down. You know, to be fair, she wasn't all that bad. I tried to comfort Ginny.
Yeah, thanks.
I mean, genital warts are nature's way of making a dick rib for her pleasure, so Kelsey was actually providing a service. Ginny grabbed another shot.
Fuck you too, Hank.
I put my hand on her shoulder. Come on, I'm kidding.
It's not funny.
Kelsey would think it was funny. Ginny mean-mugged me. You know she would. There wasn't anything that she wouldn't crack a joke about. Remember that time she wore that 3-foot-long strap-on under her pants and had the shaft sticking out of the crotch hole? Ginny's eyes started to water and she tried to hide a little bit of a smile. Then she put peanut butter on the head and had the dogs come up and lick it.
Yeah?
And you'll be alright, things work out. I mean, it's kind of been a weird night. I'm sure Eclair will calm down and you two can just go home and do whatever weird shit you two are into.
Has he said anything about that?
I remember something about giraffes.
Shot through the heart!
Came screaming through the karaoke speakers. Ginny groaned.
Ugh, I fucking hate Bon Jovi.
Whoa. What's wrong with Bon Jovi?
Who the hell is playing this?
Ginny turned around to see Eclair on the stage with a microphone. Eclair pointed straight at Ginny, screaming the rest of the lyrics. Ginny put a stern look on her face and downed another shot.
I'm out.
She calmly walked out the door. I looked back at Doc and laughed. Whoops! Eclair finished his song and rejoined us at the bar.
Where'd Ginny go?
Doc told him,
She bounced, dude.
Yeah, I think you pissed her off.
Fuck it.
Eclair grabbed 2 of the remaining shots and downed them back to back. I looked at the glasses on the bar. Ah, there's 3 left, gents. We each took a shot glass and knocked them down together. Okay, I'm gonna go smoke. We stumbled out of the bar and lit our cigarettes.
So, she really just fucking leave?
Yeah, man. She said, fuck you, and got out of here.
God damn it.
Eclair fumbled his phone to his ear. I smoked my cigarette and watched. It was cool out, but not nipply. Booze, hate, and my jean jacket were keeping me warm. People would eyeball me when I wore it. It was home to about 70 patches. The denim could hardly be seen. The 3 of us wobbled, trying to stand straight. A flirtatious, college-aged couple came outside and lit up a few feet away from us. Eclair dialed Ginny's number 5 or 6 times to no avail.
Fuck it.
He put the phone away.
And fuck her too.
Doc and I looked at him.
Wait, so that's cool?
Eclair shot us the bird.
It's a fucking figure of speech, dude.
Eclair lit a new cigarette with the end of his old one and cast it aside.
It's whatever. All I need is the core.
I hear you, bro.
Dude, you're in the Navy.
Shut up, asshole.
But yeah, man. I turned back to Eclair. I want to call you a Mozart, but I get what you're saying. Like, what is it that's so alluring about this gun club?
I don't know, man. There's just something about fucking shooting people in the face.
The young college couple beside us stopped their flirting and stared at us disturbed. I waved at them. It's okay, we're Marines. That didn't help. They crushed their cigarettes and scurried back inside. The 3 of us looked at each other and laughed. Eclair said,
Well, I don't think we should stay here, but I don't want to quit drinking yet.
Yeah, well, where do you want to go? Doc pulled out his phone.
I can call my chief and see if he can come grab us. He's always fucking out partying.
Yeah, okay. Doc put the phone to his head.
Hey, chief. Yeah, it's Evans. No, we got stuck at this bar in Vista. Yeah? That's cool. No, we didn't. No, my buddy pissed off our driver and she left us here. Yeah, it was his girlfriend. Ha, yeah, women, right? Yeah, I appreciate that, but we don't really have a ride, and we were hoping that you could come help us out with that. Really? Well, fuck, probably. Shouldn't use our Arrive Alive card for that then, huh? Okay, we'll see what we can do.
Doc hung up the phone.
Yeah, we're welcome over there, but he's coked out right now and he's not going to drive.
Wait, so he's got coke?
Eclair's intrigue peaked.
Yeah, dude, that fucker's got some Afghan shit.
How far away does he live?
Not too far, I think. A little bit towards San Marcos.
Fuck it.
Eclair pulled out his keys.
We got the Camaro.
We piled into Eclair's car and lit more smokes. He started the engine. We took off east towards Doc's chief's place. Doc gave Eclair directions from the passenger seat. We avoided busy roads in an effort to stay away from the police. We were rolling through the streets outside the small cities that populate Southern California, the places where the rolling desert hills meet the suburbs. I was staring at the little yellow lines in the road, watching them weave between the headlights and disappear under the hood as if the car was eating them. A cougar ran into the road and stopped in the middle of the street. And this fucker was huge. He was eye level with us, not backing down. We all screamed, "Shit!" And the Camaro speared through the mountain lion. The cat's giant body exploded, covering the car with blood. The car spun sideways and flipped over. We screamed as the car flipped and rolled down the side of a hill. Then things went black. I vaguely remember looking down, watching my feet drag away from the burning wreckage. Then nothing until something hit my face and woke me up. My head was pounding and my whole body ached. Doc had my shirt in his fist, slapping me.
Hank, wake the fuck up!
He slapped me again. I punched him in the face. Quit hitting me, fucker! Doc pulled me up so I was sitting and started trying to wake up Eclair. I held my head in my hands and tried to rub off the pounding in my skull. I looked at the fire, and then at Doc and Eclair. Doc finally got Eclair to wake up. Eclair looked at the burning hulk that used to be his Camaro and rubbed his face.
God damn it.
Hey, we gotta get the fuck out of here!
Doc tried to get us to move. Misery took Eclair's mind as he watched his precious car burn. He didn't say anything coherent. He pointed at the twisted wreckage and muttered halves of syllables. The flickering of the flames illuminated us. The skin under Eclair's eyes turned dark, and a slow stream of blood flowed from his nose. Doc limped up a small hill with his phone to the sky. What are you doing, Doc? I called to him.
Don't be calling the police, man.
Eclair forced himself to say.
I'm not, don't worry. I'm gonna call Penelope to come pick us up. She still has my car.
Fuck! I forgot she was out with us. I took my hand off my head and slowly inventoried my pockets for anything I may have lost.
Yeah, good luck winning that argument.
You're fucking one to talk. I pulled out my lighter and tried to light it. The flint was out and the wheel couldn't spin. I grabbed my cigarette and hobbled to the Camaro. I stuck the end of my Lucky into the flames coming from what was once the bottom of the car. Eclair protested.
Man, have some respect for the thing.
I scowled over my shoulder. Well, does your fucking lighter work?
I don't fucking know, man.
I crossed myself over the flames. She was a good, strong car. We rode through the valley of death. Gasoline is neither patient or kind, and she is now in the great big garage in the sky with her 72 Volkswagens. Fair winds and following seas. I turned back to Eclair. You fucking happy? Eclair buried his face in his palms.
God damn it. What the fuck am I gonna do?
Doc returned from the hill.
You're going to get in my car when Penelope gets here with it. Then we're going to go away. And tomorrow, you're going to call the cops and report it stolen. But you have to wait until tomorrow so the cops don't get suspicious.
We sat at the edge of the flame's light until we heard the hum of the Mustang's engine and climbed up the hill. Penelope parked on the side of the road and stepped out of the driver's seat. She looked down at us and noticed our limping.
What happened to you guys? And how'd you get out here?
I pointed my thumb over the hill. Penelope looked down at the burning Camaro.
Oh my god, are you okay? What happened? I thought you just needed a ride.
Eclair grimaced.
We hit a mountain lion.
Penelope looked at us toe to tip and took a sniff.
How drunk are you?
We're up there, babe.
And you were driving?
Well, Penelope backhanded me.
How fucking stupid are you?
I grabbed my head. Her hand didn't help the gremlins ripping apart my brains. God damn it, woman, that fucking hurt!
Well, then maybe you stupid twats shouldn't be drinking and driving.
Hey, he wasn't driving. It wasn't his fault.
Eclair defended me. Penelope bitch-slapped him next.
Get in the fucking car.
Doc opened his mouth to say something, but my jolly green giant punched the words out of his mouth.
Now!
She pointed at the idling Mustang. We plummeted into the car and screamed to San Diego, silently. We journeyed to the west. The wind didn't shake the windows. No one smoked. We were silent in fear of Penelope's fist on our aching bodies. And there wasn't so much as quiet talk radio. The only sounds were the rumble of the engines and the tires on the pavement. We stopped at her apartment building and Penelope took us upstairs.
You can all stay here tonight.
She opened the door.
Find space where you can. There's blankets on the couch.
When we were all inside, she turned on the light. It burned straight into the three of our souls. Penelope glanced at us.
Make sure to take a shower first. I don't want my things bloodied and soiled.
She disappeared into her room. Doc grabbed Eclair by the temples. Eclair protested.
What are you doing, man?
Be quiet. Open your eyes and look into the light.
Eclair complied and Doc inspected him. Doc then felt Eclair's pulse and checked behind his ears for bruises. He patted Eclair on the shoulder and told me it was okay to rack out and that he didn't need a hospital. Just water, Motrin, and ice. Doc gave me the once-over and declared us all good.
We're all a little rattled up, but no one needs stitches or a run to the ER, so I guess that's good.
Fantastic. I'll see you guys in the AM. I stripped and turned on the water in the shower. I looked at myself in the mirror while I was waiting for the shower to warm up. Both of my eyes were already deep purple and my arms and chest were bruised. I had dirt and soot grounded in my skin. The hot water felt good on the back of my neck. In all the excitement, I'd started to sober up, but not a lot. I stood there for a few minutes doing nothing more than enjoying the hot water. When I was clean, or as close to it as I could be, I wrapped a towel around my waist and stumbled into Penelope's room. The lights were out, but the cracked blinds let in blue and yellow streaks from the city's lights and the moon. Penelope sat on her bed, still clothed, arms crossed. Her eyes slowly slid a sword across my throat. I dropped my clothes on the floor by her feet and fell face first onto her bed.
You think you're sleeping in here tonight?
Her frozen voice chilled the room. I wasn't driving, babe. I meekly defended myself.
You got in the car with them and you were obviously pissed.
Baby, when you've been through as much shit as I have with these guys, drinking and driving, it's not that big of a deal.
Not a big deal, huh?
Penelope, I was literally face down in Iranian sand, bleeding so much from bullet holes that I was about to drown in my own blood. And Doc ran 300 meters through open terrain while Haji tried to gun him down and just to grab me and pull me to safety. Penelope took a deep, angry breath. That's right, Hank. Blame the war. She can't win that argument.
Hank, I don't understand you. You're so damn proud of being a Marine, yet I haven't heard you actually say one good thing about your experiences. It's all blood and guts, and it seems like half the time, the blood is yours.
And? I closed my eyes and tried to fall asleep before she could keep talking.
Is that what they're calling PTSD?
PTSD? You mean the best years of my life?
That! I don't get the duality of it all, Hank.
I think I just drank too much of the Kool-Aid.
What does that mean?
Never mind. Penelope picked up my jean jacket and looked at the patches on its back in the dim blue moonlight. She ran her fingers over the patch under the back of the collar. It was a blue diamond with a K-bar sticking through.
Ready for all, yielding to none. That sounds like a good way to describe you.
She kept touching the patch.
2nd Battalion, 7th Marines. I wonder how you would have turned out if you were never a Marine.
Huh?
I wonder sometimes if we crossed paths and you were just a regular human being, how things may have been.
I glared at her over my shoulder. She looked back at me. There was sorrow in her eyes. What do you mean, a regular human being?
I don't know, Hank.
I'm not taking this shit. I had nowhere to go and was too hurt and drunk to stand up and walk. I grabbed the edge of the blanket and rolled off the bed. I hit the floor with a heavy thud. My body cracked. I groaned in pain. It wasn't the brightest idea I've ever had. Penelope stood up and pulled the blanket over me, tucking me in. I couldn't put my thoughts into words, but I was angry with her. She ran her fingers over my hair and sat back down on the bed. Penelope picked my jacket back up and took her time inspecting the patched denim garment. I was floating in that gloom-filled watery place between sleep and awake when Penelope nudged me back awake with her foot. I pretended I didn't feel it and kept my eyes closed. Bitch, let me sleep.
Hank.
She whispered. She nudged me harder.
Hank.
What?
What's this?
I looked up at her silhouette. I had to squint to see what was in her hands. It's a ring. I buried my head back under the blanket.
Is it supposed to be for me?
It's supposed to be. A few seconds passed and Penelope laid down on my back. Her breasts pushed into my shoulder blades as she wrapped her arms around mine. God damn it, I hate being the small spoon.
I know what rings like this are for, Hank.
But not birthday presents.
Hank, I worry about you.
Thanks. Let me sleep, woman. She held the ring on her open hand, then slid it onto her finger.
Hank.
Penelope, go to bed. Let me go to sleep. Hell, let me die. Just leave me in fucking peace.
If we're going to do this, you're going to have to start opening up to me about things instead of bottling them up. I don't know if it's that you don't trust me or if it's that you don't think I'll understand, but I'll always be here for you. And I want you to know you can tell me anything.
My anger slightly subsided. Yeah?
Hank.
Uh-huh.
Who was that girl this evening? She obviously struck a chord.
She's Doc's ex-girlfriend.
So why were you so upset?
You know that girl I told you about that left me while I was in Iran?
Yes.
They were best friends, and there's more than that story than I've been honest with you about.
How so?
Remember how I said she disagreed with me being in the war at all and couldn't take it?
Something to that effect, yes.
She She didn't care about the war. She just wanted me home safe. Things looked like they might have worked out if I made it home alive. Then we were in a firefight, and I stabbed this guy to death. And I really, really dug into him. Like, I cut out his intestines and, like, sawed off his head. Like, afterwards, I went through his wallet, and he had the same picture my girlfriend had on her nightstand of her and her father.
Wait, what?
I gutted her father like a deer.
Oh.
I still have to drink myself to sleep to keep from having nightmares about that kind of shit. Penelope was silent for a few moments. I figured she was trying to find a way to close what she thought might have been Pandora's box.
It was just really weird seeing you sad. You're usually so angry about things that it's become the norm. You being sad was almost surreal.
Can you see why?
Yes,
Do you still want to keep that ring?
I do.
I rolled over and brought Penelope under the blanket. We spent the night on the floor.
Hey everybody, thank you for listening to Smokepit Fairytales Chapter 24. I'd like to thank Diane Spencer, Chuck LaVoki, Ash, Nichole, Dan Brady, Teagan, Elliot, and Hannah Militano for helping out with the voice acting in this episode. I'm sorry, Ash Nichole? I said Ash Nichole, we're good. Anyway, I would like to thank everyone that is supporting the channel on Patreon and everyone that has gotten the war chest. All right, I'll catch you around.
All right, ciao.
I definitely think the second one was better. But that's just me.
We snagged dinner at a small sushi plate. Sushis.
Alright, I'm just going to do that again. I was not convinced by anything I did. It's first thing in the morning.
Penelope.
I'm not sure if this next line is mine or yours. I don't know.
She sat down and ran her hand across the dashboard.
What's wrong? What's wrong with the bond? What's wrong with Bondelby?
Scully, you gotta fucking stop that.
She bounced it.
Doc and Reagan stared at each other.
Hank, can we drive Kristy? It's not Kirsty. I'll start again.
Ginny.
Fucking Hemingway.
Well, I can't help that Kristy was a soulless whore who fucked every swinging dick that fell in front of her and spread her Oh, wait, no, this is Eclair, so fuck it.
I don't know if that... Oh, sorry.
Eclair grabbed two more. He glabbed.
I'm not. Don't worry. I'm gonna call Penelope.
A flirtatious college-aged. Oh, okay. He pointed at the twisted wreckage and muttered halves of syllables.
I'm just going to do those last two lines because you may have heard my stomach rumbling. I have had breakfast.